All right, welcome everybody. We just opened the webinar and we're going to let people come in for the next minute or so, and then we have a total of 30 minutes of content. So we're going to be digging right in at 11:31. But welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome everybody. We're going to give it about 30 more seconds and then we're going to get started. Great to see you. Hope you brought your favorite cocktail. Hi Nina. Your form submission completely cracked me up. She said, how do I delegate with a team of one? There's a lot of crazy conversations happening.
Yes, always a challenge.
You laugh. All right, well, we are recording and we have a full 30 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and get started, but welcome everybody. We're so excited to have you here for our Brunch and Learn. Given the business environment where nothing is as it was before, I swear I keep saying it's everything everywhere all at once, we thought, why not mix up our learning events and host them differently? So today we're really going to be thinking differently about the challenges and opportunities around us with delegation. So we are mixing morning cocktails and introducing the concept of AI-powered smart delegation. And the goal today is to serve you up some content in a thoughtful but more relaxed, but yet still efficient setting of 30 minutes in and out, along with some amazing bonus content at the end. So just consider Eileen and I your content mixologists. Eileen, what do you think about day drinking?
Well, I'm obviously a fan, and I'm also a fan of today's topic. So why don't we introduce ourselves and then we can share a little bit about why we're here today.
Sounds good.
So as Emily said, I'm Eileen. I'm one of your co-hosts, but I'm also the community and education lead here at Delegate Solutions. I lead the department that houses our delegation and efficiency training and coaching services. But I used to manage our service department with over 40 virtual executive assistants. And so I understand that the introduction of AI software can be a little bit jarring, but I really think that it can be a really significant resource in supporting our administrative workflows if we think about it in a really thoughtful, intentional, meaningful way. When I am not thinking about AI-powered delegation or delegation training that I do every day, I love brunching with my family of 4 here in Raleigh, North Carolina. If we aren't constantly traveling to soccer games or sitting through dance recitals, I like when we can just slow it down and enjoy brunch together. We're really big breakfast people in general. My favorite dishes lately are vegetarian scrambles, or I love a good vegetarian breakfast sandwich as well, partnered, of course, with a mimosa. What about you, Emily?
Yes, don't mind us. We are trying to have fun with our theme of Brunch and Learn, and it's pretty much summer. So I'm having a paloma, which is basically grapefruit and tequila. And usually I have a sprig of rosemary, but today I have mint. And it's very refreshing. So I'm Emily, I'm a chronic time optimist. I'm also the founder here at Delegate. And over the last 16 years, we've been helping entrepreneurs and leaders like you learn how to harness the power of delegation, but then also help you execute on the work through our team of highly skilled EAs. So if you don't know, Delegate was born in the early days of the VA industry. So back when no one even had heard of what a virtual assistant was, I used to have to explain it. I mean, this was real. And it was really the Wild West for us in those days. And so as I've grown Delegate, I'm continually asked by people around us, what's going to happen to administrative work? Is AI going to take it over? And I'm always shocked by that question because AI is just a tool that makes us work more efficiently and smartly. So it's not really something that's scary or threatening. So all that to say, this is what we're going to talk about today. How do you marry, I'm going to put my drink down, the idea of delegation with administrivia, and then supercharge it with AI so that everyone is freed up doing their most impactful work. So if you're just now starting to introduce AI into your own back office, or you're here today because you're just trying to wrap your head around it, you'll definitely leave with some great takeaways that you can implement. And as for me, brunch is my favorite meal of the day. And like Eileen, I'm also a vegetarian, but I typically tend to go for something like bougie French toast or pancakes or fresh fruit.
My stomach is growling. I'm really hungry. I will acknowledge that I know many of you are in the office right now, so you can't indulge in a yummy brunch or even a beverage with us today, but let's make this a little fun. And so anytime you hear us say AI, take a sip of whatever beverage you have on hand. And we'll see how this plays out for Emily and I as we continue on in our presenting. Since we're drinking mimosas, we encourage you to grab a drink along with us, whether it's water, coffee, or something more fun. Let's do a quick poll. I'm curious what everyone is drinking this morning. Are you enjoying a mimosa with us or sticking with some of the normal day-to-day office beverages?
I don't see any. Oh, one mimosa. Aperol spritz. That sounds delicious.
Oh, I want to know where you are if you're enjoying that.
Iced tea. Awesome. Germany, fun. All right, here's the results.
Okay.
It looks like the majority of us are drinking coffee. So I have an assortment. I have that here as well, just to keep the energy up as we go through. But thanks everybody for sharing. And no matter what you're drinking, we support your choices. So as we move through the webinar, a little bit of housekeeping, just share any questions that you have in the Q&A window, and we will do our best. We might have to go over to get to them, but we will address them either live today or via email. But to keep the momentum moving forward, let's dig into some content.
Yeah, awesome. So today we embark on a journey to really explore the transformative role that artificial intelligence can play in delegation. In a fast-paced and really increasingly complex world, effective delegation is crucial for organizations to thrive, and especially for leaders to function at their highest levels. It keeps you from wasting your time on mundane tasks, allows you to kind of focus on those bigger picture objectives, on your decision-making abilities, and most importantly, your most impactful contribution. I really believe that growth and freedom and really achieving your vision are the direct results of mastering delegation. But how do you take it to the next level? And how do we unlock those that unprecedented efficiency and productivity?
Yep, we always teach our clients, delegation is the foundation for growth. And all of that lies in harnessing AI with the execution of a great support partner. So if you've read my book, Let It Go, you know that in the beginning, we teach this concept called most impactful contribution. And I think that AI is really giving admins in particular the ability to work more efficiently and more smartly together with the leaders that they support. And so we like to call this like smart delegation. And if you've been following our emails, we did a 4-part series on smart delegation that went out over the last couple of weeks. And today we're going to show you the ropes of how to execute some of those things. And as I mentioned, it's important you just listen today. All of the templates that we share are going to come to you in a download following the webinar along with the recording. So let's go ahead and dive in. So today we're going to look at how to build efficiencies, having your support partner and AI join forces in 3 popular delegation areas. These are the top 3 areas that clients come to us for, and they're the areas that cause the most frustration for any type of leader. And one of the things that I've learned over the years running the company is that learning is awesome. It's one of my favorite things to do, but it's nothing without execution. So today we're focusing on the learning piece, how we do it, along with who and how they do it. So we're going to supercharge delegation with inbox, scheduling, and travel. And for each of these, we're going to look at how we can work more efficiently using these tools to support the strategies. And then we're going to share the synergy that we can put together between humans and AI to create real impact for efficiency and productivity.
Let's start with the dreaded inbox. Most of the clients that we work with at Delegate Solutions come to us because their inbox is definitely their largest pain point. They don't want to live in it. They don't want to be owned by it. And more often than not, they're coming to us with thousands upon thousands of unread or unanswered emails. And honestly, I'm an inbox 0 girl. So that gives me hives just to think about that many unanswered emails. But recent research shows that administrative assistants on average saved their senior managers 101 minutes a day, or more than 8 hours weekly, by taking over that person's inbox. So just imagine what you could do with all that extra time each week if you had 8 hours back a week. A really strong support partner is going to love to tackle that inbox challenge. And since assistants are often really natural helpers, they're driven by efficiency, and they're often really wired to execute, an overwhelming inbox is going to be their jam. They'll love it. So if your inbox keeps you up at night, or it's something you're ignoring just because it's too much, pull in your assistant right away and talk through the success criteria and the end results you want to see by having them take over your inbox. When we work with clients, we take a strategic approach to owning their inbox and managing it fully. So our team will analyze the inbox trends and really create order out of the chaos through filters and sorting and different filing systems. They're going to develop email templates that they can then respond on behalf of their client in their client's voice and brand. They'll kind of evaluate all of the inefficiencies within the inbox and then go and research and determine what types of integrations might work with their existing email platforms. And ultimately, our team is going to select the most suitable tool to support those various inbox workflows. So when you're thinking about how you can take your inbox to the next level, what's important to note is that AI and ChatGPT in particular, it doesn't have direct access to your inbox or the ability to interact with it in real time. So you will need your assistant to help you manually implement any of the strategies, actions, or really those settings that might be recommended by an AI-powered tool. I know Emily's going to dive into that in just a moment, but the other great benefit to combining AI and your assistant's talents within your inbox strategy is that AI can save your assistant time by summarizing those really long emails and pulling out those key points and action items, those to-dos. And then your assistant can compile like summaries, if you will, to give you an overview of the activity that's happening in your inbox. Or they can really easily identify tasks or responses that are required from you by incorporating those AI tech tools. And oh, by the way, did you realize most of these tools are free? So that's a really great win as well. So there are a lot of great tools out there that you can plug into your email platforms to run efficiently and effectively. But ultimately, you really can't underestimate the importance of having that human element, your assistant, because they are essential in actually applying those suggestions and making them a reality in your email platform. It really just can't happen without their involvement in the process.
Yep. So that's exactly the perfect way to think about this, Eileen, is they are applying the learning and the AI into the work. And so if you remember, Eileen talked about 8 hours a week that the assistant can save you by taking over your inbox. Imagine how much more impact that they could have for you if they had some of that time back as well in their week. And so that's where their utilization of AI can really help streamline and optimize what's going on in your inbox. So let me show you what this looks like in real life. In this example, we are using Gmail, but Microsoft is also working to incorporate these technologies as well into Outlook. So the same thing will apply, the tool would just be different. So remember, in sharing these hacks, you don't need to write this stuff down. It's all going to come to you in an email later. So the first thing that you want to do is deploy AI into your Gmail account. So you can simply install a tool like Concisely that will create summaries of the threads. What this does, and I've put these things in my inbox to actually test them out before we're recommending them to you. So you can install this into your inbox, and at the top of every email, AI will generate basically a Cliff Note version of your email. So let's say there's 20 different threads. It can actually review them in a second and spit out an overview of what is going on in that email. So that is going to save everybody tons of time. And there's a ChatGPT add-on for Gmail that's called AI Mail Assist, where you can even ask Chat a question directly from your mailbox. So you don't have to even have an Open API or OpenAI account. You can just ask it right from the inbox with that tool. And that tool can actually translate content. So let's say you're communicating with somebody in Mexico, it'll, with a click of a button, translate it It will help draft a response for you. And it can even fix responses and errors in like seconds. So it's crazy. And then you can actually gain efficiency by creating to-dos right from your email. We already do this with clients, but you can install the Asana add-on. You can also do it for Trello or Monday into your inbox. And all you have to do is click a button and it spits the to-do into one of your favorite tools. So right there, you can get an email summarized. You can draft custom responses and create to-dos with AI just in and of itself. But when we layer on the smart delegation piece here, this is where we really can up the ante because we can bring human capital with delegation and talk about how your support partner can bring more impact with the help of these tools. So as Eileen shared, remember ChatGPT as an example does not have direct access to your inbox. So while it can save you tons and tons of time, the admin partner really brings the hammer when it comes to execution and actually doing something with this. So let me walk you through what that looks like. When it comes to all of those summarized emails, just think about the 80-20 rule. Having the summaries is a huge time saver, but what do you do with it from there? One of the ways, to Eileen's point from earlier, is that your support partner can basically grab those summaries and give you just an update of what is going on in your inbox that day. Once she learns your business and your key contacts and she's getting smarter around urgency and priorities, she can help you be more responsive. So using this tech, she can then trigger the most important drafts for you to respond to, fill in blanks where needed with like things like preferences or scheduling options. And in some cases, we'll even send these emails out on our client's behalf. So if you bring in the human element here, it really helps round this out to a more thoughtful and accurate response, but we're still saving everybody time. And that brings us to the third smart inbox delegation with to-dos. So this is one of the most important ways that we help clients stay organized with email. Your seasoned support partner can use the AI summary function to understand what the asks are within the email. Then she can identify tasks for you either directly in the email and then click the button and add it to Asana. And then once in Asana, we can help you organize or delegate the task to, a teammate, yourself, and then help you stay accountable or on track with all of those to-dos. So it's fascinating work, the way that we're using all of this to work more smartly together.
It's really amazing. Another key area to optimize with your support partner and that AI technology is your scheduling strategy. The process of scheduling meetings can waste up to 5 hours a week on average, and that ends up being about 260 hours a year. Can you imagine the impact that you and your assistant can make with 260 hours added back into your year? I mean, getting those hours back can help you become a better leader and a partner, really help you get back to that most impactful contribution that only you can bring. So when thinking about dynamic and complex scheduling, our team brings a high level of strategy to the support that we provide our clients. They'll run assessments of all the things a client does day over day, week over week. And then as you can see on your screen, we break that down into tangible data that we then discuss with the client. We review and analyze what that data really means. And we use those findings to kind of create rules, if you will, around how the client is actually spending their time versus how they'd like to moving forward. And then we act as a gatekeeper to really ensure that their time is redirected toward work that the client cares about, that really only they can bring to the business. So we continually refine these strategies with the client on a regular basis. And in our case, we do that weekly with our clients. And so I really think this human element to scheduling creates a really structured and nimble sort of dynamic approach to how you spend your time. And it ensures your gatekeeper can really monitor that progress and success. With AI in the mix, though, your assistant can use ChatGPT to really analyze and make recommendations as to how to structure your day. It's going to analyze the information that your assistant provides it to build in efficiencies and make suggestions about how to build a schedule that really matches your ideal day, your ideal week. and so forth. It's a really cool function. And so there are a ton of great AI powered tools out there that can make the workload with your schedule certainly more simplified and streamlined for your assistant, which again is going to free them up to focus on higher impact work. Emily, I'm curious, why don't you share your favorite with the group?
Yeah, so we're going to come back to ChatGPT on this one. I'm going to show you a quick hack using Google Calendar. So this is an in real life situation that you can install yourself. So remember, chat is not going to start scheduling meetings for you, but to Eileen's point, it can provide efficiency insights. So the first thing that you want to do is install the Google Calendar API and integrate it with ChatGPT. Then once you install it, you can use chat to analyze and streamline your calendar. So you can look at chat really as a work or time coach and ask it questions like, when I say questions, I mean prompts. These are things you would put into chat. You'd say, how can I improve my time management? Are there inefficiencies in my meeting schedule? Can you prioritize my week? You can ask it, what tasks on my calendar should I prioritize? Or are there patterns that indicate areas for improvement? Or what can I delegate based on my calendar, which is really great for work planning. So you can ask it to review your task list, provide recommendations, and create estimates on timeframes for completion. So like when you're thinking about a larger scale project, it's crazy to think about, these are the early days of AI. This is like when the internet started, right? All those years ago. So how far we're going to come just in a year with this tech is unreal. So with all that AI support, you might still be saying, well, why do I need any delegation support? But again, we're coming back to the execution pieces of this data and how using a support partner can really increase your impact alongside the tools. So first, when we're looking at analyzing it, AI makes us faster at analyzing the data and providing recommendations based on those kinds of prompts. So your support team member can run these types of analyses for you with this type of tool and then facilitate an efficiency conversation with you around bringing the ideal week to your calendar. Next, with prioritization, these calendar rules that it might spit out are a great guardrail, but your assistant is really the thought partner that's going to help talk you through what's keeping you back from your ideal week. These are not things that AI is going to ever come to. These are like heartfelt conversations you're having together. And they can provide dynamic gatekeeper protection when it comes to managing your time. So we also will refine these strategies with clients on a regular basis, sometimes even weekly. And this human element for scheduling helps you stay nimble and dynamic and ensures that your gatekeeper can actually monitor progress. And then planning. So this is one of the most fascinating parts of AI on our work. If we can get it to process through, let's say 80% of the thinking work for us, that leaves us with our most impactful 20%. So with that 80-20 rule in mind, dynamic planning can speed up your projects and create project work plans, identify dependencies, and that frees up the support partner to manage the execution and dynamics of projects or issues that might come up as a project rolls out. But it's that 80% framework that we can quickly tweak to get to 100% of a solution in a small fraction of the time.
Love that. So cool. Let's talk travel coordination. And even the simplest travel plans can eat up more time than you think. On average, assistants spend anywhere from 1 to 5 hours per week on planning travel. And that includes, researching flights and hotels, coordinating all those little logistical pieces, making reservations, creating itineraries. And if I'm being honest, I feel like that stat is a little bit low because in my experience, travel planning, especially, it's just more influenced by when it's more complex in nature. And sometimes those simplest little trips get tricky to coordinate. So when our assistants start to work with clients, their first step in travel coordination is to gather the client's travel preferences. Once those are captured, we never have to ask again what airline you're flying, which seat you prefer, whether you're flying direct or not. Those are the human components that only we can bring, along with developing those itineraries, gathering all of your logins for all those different travel sites and platforms you might use. We'll book all those travel aspects, and then ensure that each piece is visible on your calendar and in the right time zone. We'll even check you in for your flight, make sure you're upgraded for your hotel rooms, what have you, but we can confirm all of that in advance. And so those are the few, I think, key ways that we support travel for our clients to make it really easy and low stress. But with AI in the mix, your assistant can then save themselves time and stress in the process by sharing a few logistical details with ChatGPT, and then it's going to spit out recommendations on day trips and activities, restaurants, even the most optimal routes to take to really make a great travel experience. And heck, they can even use ChatGPT to provide you a packing list. So that's like one last thing you even need to think about. And I love that you can use it in so many ways to make travel so much like smoother and enjoyable for everyone who might be involved in that trip.
Yep. So I tested this one out on ChatGPT for myself. Next week, I'm headed to Spain, and I said, let me see how this will actually help improve our itinerary. I've never been to Spain. So, we took the smart technology, and again, there's no integration here. This is just going straight into chat and creating prompts. And so what I created for you guys as the handout is a prompt guide that you would simply paste into chat, fill in your details, and then let it prompt you through. So for example, I plugged it in and asked it to create a travel itinerary for me on these dates and these locations using this budget and these amenities. And in seconds, it was able to create a personalized itinerary for me to drive from Barcelona to Portugal, along with, how long I wanted to drive each day, where I wanted to stop and see, whether or not I needed reservations to go to a restaurant or a popular attraction or something. So it's quite incredible. And then you can keep dialing it in from there. And after that, I said, okay, now make me a packing list based on that itinerary and the weather. Done. That was done in a second. And then for the last one with travel is that business type trip. So let's say you're going to New York, you have a conference and you want to meet a client halfway between Brooklyn and Times Square, which is where you'll be. You can simply ask chat to identify a great restaurant or coffee shop that's halfway in between that has certain characteristics and requires a reservation. So what you get coming out of Chat GPT are results, but now you need to move to the execution piece. And so this is really how the assistant would then take over. So if we lay smart delegation on top of this, you have your dialed in itinerary in hand. Hand that off to your assistant. Let them handle all of the bookings. When it comes to your packing list, they can help by reviewing it. They can look for materials that you might need to order in advance, like prep materials or gifts or travel gear. They'll probably prompt you to consider ordering things like that. And then they can shop around for the best price and handle ordering it. They can even add reminders to your calendar so you don't forget to pack the gift that you bought your client that you wanted to give when you meet up. So, and then of course, once the meeting spot is identified, they can handle the details with the client, make the reservation. So that's the power of smart delegation that will only get smarter over time.
So cool. I love all of this. One of the closing thoughts I want to leave you with is I want to encourage you to kind of reframe your own thinking when it comes to delegation. Dan Sullivan of Strategic Coach teaches us the simplified concept of who, not how, which basically means that rather than always thinking about how we're going to get something done, we stop and think about who can help us with that thing. So with the idea of who versus how, consider reimagining your admin as a thought partner. Once your admin is aware of these AI hacks, they need to simply think of these as processes that they can implement with you each week, creating space for each of you to think more strategically. Reimagining an admin as a thought partner is possible because they likely have those characteristics of being able to anticipate needs, think strategically, work methodically, right? They likely crave the more strategic work. So pulling them in to a higher level is going to be really exciting and invigorating for them. So how do you move them from a good to great admin, one that's really capable of implementing these AI hacks to help you really move that needle forward? Through our delegation coaching and training programs, we've seen leaders and their teams get revamped to work in this sort of synergistic way within 90 days. So as you think about streamlining the areas of your life, think about who can protect and gatekeep your time and energy with AI. And remember, it is possible to reimagine and recalibrate those existing team members, your who's, that you might already have in place.
Yep. So we have one more slide before we move to questions and one quick poll. So we are curious, of the 3 strategies we shared, inbox, calendar, travel, which one of these do you think that you'll implement first? And we'll give it, we are right on time, so we're going to give it about 10 more seconds. Which of these will you implement first? And I'm looking at it, and it's looking like almost a tie. So inbox at the lead. So everyone hates dealing with inbox. So it's really fascinating what's going on there. All right. So in closing, our mission with these brunch and learns is to drop knowledge that leaves you better off than when you came in this morning. So in addition to the learning that we just shared, you'll receive a copy of our Smart Hacks template for AI, which comes with the recording. And just remember 3 closing thoughts. AI and delegation are really better together. Part of the impact that you get from AI comes from having a great who that helps you execute. And then 3, delegation is a teachable skill for you and your team. And we would, of course, love to help. Our delegate learning team offers coaching, training, and consulting to help you up-level your who's and increase your own delegation IQ so that you can really focus on your most impactful contribution. We can help develop your admins through our admin growth groups that Eileen runs. We can learn how to work more smartly together as a team through our delegation coaching and training, or we can provide you with a team of great who's to bring those delegations to life. So thank you for joining, and we can now move on to any questions, and we went over only by 1 minute, so right on time.
I'm proud of us.
What do we got?
We have a couple questions. I saw one in the chat too, so let me just pull that up. One person asked, do all of these only work with Google? What if we use Microsoft Suite? Which I think we kind of addressed that Microsoft is still developing some of their AI capabilities. So most of these will work really well with your Google apps if you are using that.
Yes, Microsoft is working on, I want to say it's called Copilot, or they might have released it, and it does offer the same types of things as the option I offered in Google. The one that I mentioned on Calendar was specific to Google Calendar. I didn't see anything really new with AI on calendaring yet for Outlook.
Viola asked, do these apps for Gmail work if your Gmail feeds into another mail program, such as Apple Mail?
No.
Okay.
Because they are Google plugins. And so you would have to go into and install it into like Chrome. So yeah, you would have to run those sort of hacks through Google itself.
That's good to know. And then the last question I see is when you mentioned you offer training, what does that look like? What does that mean? So we have a couple different delegation related trainings that we provide. We have our Elevation Quarter workshop where you can join a cohort of other business leaders and learn together the discipline, art, and science of delegation and learn a lot of the tools that we implement with our clients. We do that same workshop for teams. So we will come in and work with a company and train their whole team to think about delegation in the same way, which is really powerful and transformative. We provide training to admins through our growth groups, which meet monthly, and we cover a whole spectrum of topics that all feed back into being excellent delegation partners. And then we also provide coaching services. So we'll do one-on-one coaching with the leader or an admin to help get them up to speed. But I really love the 2-on-1 coaching we do, where it's a business leader and an admin together, learning and building their delegation processes together. So we have a whole different slew of ways that we can support you as you're thinking about how to improve your delegation experiences as a team.
Love that. And Eileen runs all of that. So you can see her level of expertise on the topic of delegation. We are both completely obsessed with it and could talk your ear off about it. But we are over time. Greg and Viola, I think we got your questions answered. If there's any more questions, speak now, forever hold your peace, or you can also, of course, reach out to us through email. But we'll be sending this out later this afternoon with the recording, the download, and some additional resources. But thank you everybody for coming. Hi, Daniel. Hope everybody has a great rest of their day. Cheers to you all. Have a great summer. We'll see you next quarter.
Hi, everyone.